Sonoma County is well known as a wine and food destination around the world. From the outside looking in, our food is thought to be dominated by sustainable and organic ingredients prepared by renowned chefs. However, that is not the reality for much of our community. Welcome to Community Health Connections. My name is Oscar Chavez. In this episode, we'll take a look at our food system, where our food comes from, where it ends up, and what happens in between. Through the collaboration of many different people and organizations, Sonoma County is working to build a strong, healthy, and sustainable food system for generations to come.
The fact of the matter is that Sonoma County still has too many communities that are isolated because of language, isolated because of economic status, isolated because of fear in some cases. Many of our neighbors are here that without documentation, and they're worried about participating in open public processes. So we have a lot of work to do. We have to work with what's really here. But I think there's some really good examples of things that are progress.
In health education, we realize that getting healthy is more than just personal choice. We have found that creating a healthy food environment and having access to healthy foods in all neighborhoods is a very important piece.
The food desert is an area which the USDA has deemed basically vacant of any healthy food options or any food options whatsoever in a particular neighborhood.
For folks who have cars and are used to sort of driving to wherever they want to go, it's hard to imagine, a food desert in Sonoma County. But if you don't have a car and your food source is more than, let's say, 10 or 20 blocks away, it's a real job to get to where you need to go. So a food desert is a place where there are no good choices in that area.
Lower income neighborhoods do seem to have more corner stores. In the neighborhoods that we work in, a lot of people are walking to the store, grabbing a few things, and we want to be able to provide healthy food right there in their neighborhood.
A lot of the public health work is about bodega programs. How do you get more healthy foods in small corner grocery stores? And there, what you really have to deal with is the economic realities of what it takes to run a corner grocery store. These guys make their money off of high margin products, sodas, alcohol, cigarettes, and their distributors don't bring them apples and bananas. They don't have refrigeration for the kinds of things that we might want to have, like fruits or lettuces or greens. And so the question there is, how can you create support for these bodegas, which are important parts of their community, to be able to address more of the community's needs with what they offer. And it's work in progress.
The Healthy Fruit Outlet Project provides technical assistance to small stores to help them make healthy changes.
We work with stores around Sonoma County, particularly in low-income communities, and right now we have markets that we're working with in Petaluma, Roanoke Park, Boys Hot Springs, Healdsburg, and South Santa Rosa.
It might be bringing in fresh produce or improving or expanding their produce section. It might be helping them to place healthy advertising and decrease unhealthy advertising. Just generally helping them to increase their healthy food options.
Hemos cambiado varios productos de la tienda por unos de mejor calidad como carnes, verduras. Hemos traído productos orgánicos, las carnes más frescas.
We wanted to really help our neighborhood and our community. We're also located right down the street from a high school, and when the high schoolers come in, they don't go straight for the candy. Instead, they go for the baked items and the juices that we have in front, and even fruits and water.
The reason why this is so important, particularly in the communities that we work in, is we've seen a higher rate of overweight and obesity, especially among lower income and Latino residents living in these communities.
Yo en lo personal no como comida rápida. Yo quisiera orientar a todas las personas y que entiendan que eso no tiene nutrientes, no tiene vitaminas, no tiene proteínas, no tiene nada de lo que tu cuerpo necesita. Entonces, en lugar de una comida rápida, si le podemos dar fruta o verduras a los niños, ahorita que los niños desde muy chiquitos que tienen diabetes o que tienen problemas de obesidad, toda esa comida chatarra, si lo podemos evitar, estaría mucho mejor. Nos ayudaría mucho y evitaríamos muchos problemas y enfermedades de salud.
I think the best thing is when I go back to a store after working with them for a while, I'll go back a few months later and I see that they are making changes on their own. And that's the most exciting thing, that they have taken this seriously and understand that they have a role in improving the community's health. And I think that's what makes the program successful, is they really do understand that even their own family members might be having diabetes or heart disease. And so they want to make the changes because they know that those things affect their own lives and their neighborhoods.
People can ultimately make their own decisions on what they purchase at grocery stores. It's just up to us and every other store here and around the world to offer them healthier options.
We've got people who are flat out hungry or food insecure. We've got others who are priced out of the local food movement. And then we've got folks who do have wealth and resources who can make a change.
We can grow just about anything here. We have figs next to walnuts, next to persimmons and apples and oranges. This is a paradise of growing things, of just about anything. And there's no reason why there should be so many hungry people.
All over the county, we've got great groups of people that are really working to try to reach out to communities, to engage them in and support them in food self-sufficiency and also projects that make a difference, whether they're gleaning projects or in their own farming activities.
Gleaning is where citizen volunteers come out and harvest excess produce and then distribute it to hunger relief groups and agencies.
So if you have a great garden and you just can't eat all of your tomatoes at the end of the year, contact an organization like Petaluma Bounty and they will take all of your extra fruits and vegetables from you.
The crop farmers, because they have all this beautiful produce, and if for some reason, okay, they sold just a little bit this week, it's still growing, it still needs to be picked, what do we do with it? And Crop Monster has been a good model of how to sort of help distribute it, get it out there, and give people a very good price for local quality produce.
Crop Monster really emerged to help solve a problem on my family's farm. We can post instant alerts online that can be deals or donations or freebies, and they go via email and Facebook and Twitter and the good old-fashioned phone tree, and then the community gets together to help find a home for the food. We're 6 months in. We estimate that we've facilitated saving over 50 tons, over 100,000 pounds of food in the Bay Area community. And that translates into a few 100,000 servings. By connecting the dots around the topic of food waste, we're able to transform that negative impact on the environment, on economies, on our community into positive value.
There is no government that's going to come in and help us. Rather, hunger is a very local issue. In fact, it's very neighborhood based. And I would argue that everybody within every community needs to come forward and make a difference for the people in need.
The Redwood Empire Food Bank is one of my heroes. They are not content with the proposition that there will always be hungry. They are asking the question, how can we eliminate hunger? And they're changing the idea of what a food bank is from being emergency food to actually being a venue for making these deep changes to the root systems that we're addressing.
The Redwood Empire Food Bank reaches the needs of 78,000 people every single month in Sonoma County. Many people believe that food banks around the country distribute lesser quality food, but the fact is we distribute over 7 million pounds of fresh produce, both fruits and vegetables.
My grandfather, who founded Clover, always said that giving starts at home, and to be able to give back to your community is one of the greatest gifts that you can do. So the food bank is a great example of a nonprofit partner that we have. The food bank picks up products that they can then take back to the food bank to serve meals with. And that is pallets of product weekly.
When we built our new facility, we built a 5,000 square foot freezer cooler that would allow us to both receive high quality produce, but also maintain the integrity of that product from the time we receive it to the time that needy households receive it. We also have something called the Value Market, and it's the first of its kind in the United States. It is a nonprofit market grocery store, if you would, for low-income people specifically. The purpose for the store is to really provide a place of dignity for low-income people, a place where they could get a very good selection, very good value, and most importantly, superior customer service. The people that we serve at times have resources, they have money, they just don't have enough money. And given the opportunity to select the foods that they most want, the value market provides that opportunity. And when those resources run out and they need emergency food assistance, then the food bank can supplement that.
The Ceres Community Project is a real pioneer in trying to reconnect us with healthy foods and healthy eating.
They're training teen chefs to prepare meals going to critically ill people.
We bring teens into the kitchen and into a commercial food production garden, and they do the most important work in the organization. And the food that they prepare goes to people all over Sonoma County and now across the country.
My doctor said to get involved, and my husband called on my behalf, and pretty soon people started bringing me food. Excellent food made by my community teens that was grown 3 blocks from me.
About 80% of cancer patients end up malnourished because the treatment is so debilitating, and people who are malnourished have worse outcomes, longer recovery times, and more side effects.
I had no idea I wouldn't be able to cook or that I wouldn't be able to do things for myself, but I was so grateful to have someone cooking for me.
There's 3,000 new cancer diagnoses a year in Sonoma County. We help 80 families at a time, and somewhere around 400 families a year. We do what we call a whole foods plant-based organic diet, so no processed foods, no white sugar, no white flour, as much as possible grown locally.
I approached Ceres and said, why don't we start a garden part so that the teens have the experience of what healthy food is from the soil all the way to the table. And we have a little more than a half-acre vegetable production garden where we grow vegetables and flowers that go into meals for the clients and bouquets for the clients that we serve. I think the thing that I see the most is that they've learned that they can be a part of the community. I think we've put our youth to the side and kind of want them to grow up, and then we'll deal with them. And I think Ceres gives them a place to be, of value.
We're not only just giving food for sick people. I think it's important for teens to be involved in the community because it's teaching them how to be social, how to talk to people, how to make friends, and also teaching them how to be leaders in their community.
We're 7 years old. This year we'll go over 200,000 meals that we've provided in Sonoma County. We have about 320 active volunteers, adult volunteers here, and about 250 youth a year, maybe 300 this year who will be involved. We have also replicated the model around the country, so there's projects now in 8 communities nationally that are based on what we're doing here, and a couple more that are coming online.
We have to ask the question, is it really okay to have a world in which there are some who are permanently hungry? Is that the world that we want to create? Is it okay for us to create a world in which some of us permanently work hard and never get ahead? Is there a way for us to collectively look at the root of what makes it so that so many of us feel unwell in our community, whether it's because we're worried about our jobs, our homes, our children, or whether we're worried about our health, these root issues that ultimately are about equity in our community.
Thank you for watching this episode of Community Health Connections. To see past episodes and to learn more about this program, visit krcb.org/health.